Hey guys, it's Miss L. I hope you all are doing very, very well. I miss you guys so much. I know it's only like, what, day 3 into this, and it feels so crazy, but we are doing our best to keep going. So today we're gonna learn a little bit more about value in art. So I need you to grab your sketchbooks and a pencil and follow along with me, okay? So I'm gonna show you presentation. I'll probably share it for you guys too so that you can see it. But I want you to write the definitions that I show you in your sketchbook as we go, okay? Alright, so starting with this picture, these two pictures. There's a big difference between the one on the left versus the one on the right, and obviously that is the shading. So the one on the left is just basically an outline. It doesn't really look super realistic. It's just like a basic outline drawing of an apple. And then the one on the right looks crazy realistic, and that's because of all the shadows in the midtones and the highlights, okay? So that's basically what value is. Value is the lightness or darkness of an object or surface. Make sure you write that down in your sketchbook, please. The fancy term for that is chiaroscuro, but I'm not gonna make you remember that. You do not need to remember that. It's just fun knowledge for you. So, value is the lightness or darkness of an object or surface. So like here's the dark areas of this sphere, there's the light areas of this sphere, or it's also any of the shades that are in between, okay? So, second term, shading. The use of light and dark values to give the illusion of form and depth. So thinking back to those two apple pictures, the adding the dark areas, the middle areas, and the light areas made the flat apple look more three-dimensional, right? So adding shading to a drawing makes it look more realistic, which is the goal for what we're going for this type of stuff. Okay? I'll make sure to share this for you guys so that if you need more time writing these definitions that you can look back at the presentation. Okay, so a drawing tool that we use to blend two values together is called a tortillon. And I know that that sounds kind of like tortilla. That's how some students remember it. They always say tortilla, but it's those little blending sticks that are over by the pencils in my art room, and basically you can just use them instead of your finger to blend two values together. I find it very helpful. It's basically just rolled up paper. But I mean, you can use your finger, but it seems to leave a little bit of like oil residue because your fingers naturally have oil on them. So using a tortillon seems to help that problem. You can also remember them as blending sticks. I would accept either tortillon or blending stick, either way. Okay. And then the blending method is a technique of transitioning from one value to the next, so from dark to light. Okay? So, awesome. Okay. So, 3 different ways that you can create different values besides just the blending method. We have hatching, cross-hatching, and stippling, okay? So instead of writing these definitions, what I want you to do is we'll write, so for example, we'll write hatching. Instead of writing the definition, all you need to do is create parallel lines. So hatching is creating parallel lines like this in order to show value. So the more lines that I add, the darker an area will look versus less lines. You guys see that? See, this looks lighter than this over here. So now, cross-hatching is the same thing, except the lines cross like this. And again, the more lines that I add, the darker the area looks, and the less lines, the lighter it looks. And then the third term is stippling, which is adding dots. To show value. The more dots that I add, the darker an area looks. The less dots that there are, the lighter the area will look. Okay? So you don't need to write any definitions for these, just as long as you can draw them out for me, then that's good. Okay? Cool, so I'm going to pop this back over. Awesome. Okay, so this drawing right here is made entirely out of dots, which is pretty impressive. So if you look and see, it's stippling. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? When you zoom in on it, you can see all of the details, all of the close little dots put together that make this big drawing. Super cool. And the skull drawing over here, you see, it's made up of hatching and cross-hatching. So that's just a way that you can shade and add value in a different way other than just simply blending, right? Okay, cool. So, what I want you guys to do, you're gonna follow along with me here. Okay, so you're gonna grab your pencil, and I want you to draw a box like this. Okay. With 6 different sections in them like this, okay? So, when using drawing pencils like the one that I have here, I know that you guys are probably using a mechanical pencil or just a number 2 pencil or something like that, and that's completely fine. However, when you are in my art room, I have that box over by the pencil sharpener that has a bunch of different types of pencils in them, and there are different types of pencils in there, and I don't know if you've noticed that or not. For example, this pencil that I have here is a 4B pencil. Probably can't see that. Nah, but that's okay. You can just trust me. It says 4B, and we have 2H pencils, we have 2B, 4B, 6B, and I bet you're wondering, well, what's the difference? So, good question. 6B pencil is really dark. When you have a B in the pencil, the bigger the number, the darker the lead is going to be in the pencil. So 6B is super dark, and then a 4B is in the middle, and then a 2B would be light, okay? And then there are also H pencils, and H pencils are lighter than the B pencils, but we're just going to focus on these 3, okay? So, light to dark. So what I want you to do, follow along with me, is on this side, you're going to shade very lightly, as lightly as you can. But you still want to shade evenly. If you're having problems shading lightly, a tip to use is to hold the pencil towards the back of the pencil because it lightens up your grip and it's really hard to shade really dark when your grip is all the way at the back of the pencil. Okay? Cool. And then you can blend it a little bit with your finger. But you see how light that is? Very light. So, the next box, we're going to shade just a little bit darker. You don't want to go crazy yet because the crazy dark spots are going to be over on the right. Cool. Same thing here. Blend it just a bit. There we go. Okay, the next one is going to be even a little bit darker. Like so. Cool. When you're making a pencil drawing, it's very important that you have these light tones, middle tones, and the dark tones, because that's what really makes your work look real and three-dimensional. Okay, this one's pretty dark. And then finally, this last one is crazy dark. So you're gonna press pretty hard. And that's easier to do with a 6B pencil. So if it's not as dark as mine, that's okay, but just press as hard as you can. So then you want to label this as highlights, midtones, and shadows. Okay, so there is that. Alright, this is what I want you guys to do today. Make sure that you put all of the definitions in your sketchbook and write them out. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you how to shade a couple of different shapes to look three-dimensional. Okay? So, make sure that you take a picture of your work and you submit it to Google Classroom for me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me and I will help you to the best of my ability. Make sure you take care of yourself, you're getting plenty of sleep, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, guys. Bye.